Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is the Muffin Madrina. Welcome to my kitchen today. How are you all doing out there? If you're joining and watching this, please hit like, give us a thumbs up or a heart up that our sound is good, that you can hear me, that everything is looking good on your end. And so today, on this beautiful Saturday morning, hi, good morning, Heather. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Good morning, Andretta. How are you all doing? Oh, yes. Thank you for joining. I know that we started a little later today, but give me just 1 minute because we forgot to put Mr. Sherman away, and he's walking right up. Go, Sherman. He's walking right up. Sorry about that. Yes, thank you. Looking forward to some pumpkin cream cheese muffins that we're doing today, healthy. But thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Please let me know that you can hear me clearly by giving me a thumbs up and that the music okay in the background and things like that. So today, we're going to be trying out these cream cheese pumpkin muffins. They're actually a recipe that hi, good morning, Jaylene. How are you doing? Nice. Thank you for joining us all the way from Massachusetts, the cousins. Hi, Sister Debbie. Thanks for the thumbs up, Debbie. Good morning. Nice to see you guys. Countdown, Debbie. Countdown pretty soon. So one of the things that I want to mention, hey, good morning, Mom. So let me make sure I give you a shout. Good morning. Well, awesome. Thanks, Jaylene. So I got to give a shout out before I keep going to everybody in Massachusetts, those of you joining from Texas, those joining from Georgia, those joining from Connecticut, those joining from Puerto Rico and from Florida. And let me know if there's another state that I have not mentioned and you're joining us. So today we are going to, like I mentioned, do cream cheese pumpkin muffins. Now, if you notice in my first post that I put on Instagram, I actually said that I was going to get it from another post as far as another recipe. And I ended up switching it when I actually added the ingredients because after reading the first recipe, I realized that it had too much sugar, like way over the top sugar. And if you guys were tuned in this past Thursday at the Muffin Madrina moment, you get to hear how I was talking to my walking buddy and also my meal prep dealer, as I call her. We were talking about issues of sugar and her health journey and things like that. And so when I was reading the original recipe that I was going to do, I said, oh no, there's just too much. So this one that we're doing today is actually from iFoodReal.com. And so it has some sweetness to it, but it's a lot less than what my original recipe that I was going to do. And I'm even going to tell you where I cut even a little bit more sugar out of our recipe. So if you're just joining us, this is the Muffin Madrina Live. Thank you for joining us. And today we are doing cream cheese pumpkin muffins. Now, first we want to make sure, and kind of fell, and we got to put our aprons on. So if you're following right along, make sure that you have your apron so nothing ends up getting messy on you. But if not, if you're watching this and you're going to do it later, that's okay. Good morning, Joanne. Thanks for joining. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And so let's start off with the ingredients. And so the way we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have 2 large eggs. And this recipe is very simple in the sense of, you know, you're going to fill everything that is liquid first. We don't have to divide up bowls the way they explained the recipe. And we're going to start with everything that's liquid. And then we're going to add the flour at the end. Okay? So just a little bit different. And so make sure that you have preheat your oven at 375. And once it's time for baking, it's going to take about 20 minutes. So if you want to have your timers ready to go, you could do that as well. And it's 375 degrees, and for 20 minutes it's going to be cooking. Now this particular recipe is going to yield you 12 muffins, okay? And so one of the things that we didn't get to do was to set these up. And this is actually a mini muffin. I decided that instead of making the big ones, I'm gonna do tiny ones this time around because even though everybody in my house eats the muffins, we're not eating them quite quick enough. And so the normal size, medium size muffins, I didn't want to keep wasting stuff, food. So I decided that this time around, I'm gonna make them to mini muffins. And you don't have to. The recipe that we're gonna be doing is for actually big, medium, normal size muffins. So if I have a leftover from my batch today, basically, I can do another group of them later on. Like you can freeze your batch that you end up and just use it for later on. Okay, so we're gonna be using these tiny ones today. Now, to start off, let's start off with your large mixing bowl. Make sure that you have your mixing bowl. And we're gonna start doing all the liquids as well. So we're gonna go ahead and take 2 large eggs that we're gonna put right in here. Make sure to first whisk that. Okay. Good morning. What do you guys have planned today? This beautiful Saturday. It's supposed to get I think 87 here in Georgia. And I hope there's still a breeze because if it starts getting humid, humidity just doesn't work. I like heat, but to be in, comfortableness. Who likes to be comfortable? Okay. So here we are with the 2 eggs. We whisked that away. Now we're gonna add the pumpkin puree. Now, this is very important. I wanna show you something. The pumpkin puree, I'm using this brand. And, oh, Heather, you're doing nothing? You have to do something. The pumpkin puree, you need to make sure that when you go to the store, you do not buy pumpkin pie filling, okay? There's a difference between the filling and the puree. So if you stick to the Libby's 100% pumpkin, it'll work. It's the same thing. But there are actually cans out there that are pumpkin, that are, pie fillings, and it's a little bit different. Okay? So I already have a can here opened, and you're probably thinking, why does she have 2 cans? Well, this is what happens. If you guys know, oh, Joanne's going shopping. Oh, yes. I hope it's good stuff, Joanne. And so what happened is that the reason why I have 2 cans is, if you guys remember, my kitchen got redone, and so some of my old cabinets, we have a big laundry area, a decent sized laundry area, and so I put the cabinets, some of my extra cabinets went to the garage for my husband's stuff, and then my other cabinets, my old ones, went into my laundry area. And so I actually have a counter there and cabinets, and so there's an area that has extra stuff of baking. And I completely forgot that I already had a can of pumpkin puree. Okay, so it is 10 ounces that you're gonna be putting in here. It's basically in cups, is 1 1/4 cups. And so that is actually 10 ounces. A regular can this size is 15 ounces. So what I'm gonna do, in order to make sure that I measure everything correctly, I'm gonna go ahead and first, before the puree, I'm gonna drop in the oil. And so I'm actually using avocado oil today instead of coconut oil, which both of them work. They'll create the moistness and the dense of the muffin. But I decided that today I wanted to go ahead and do some avocado oil, okay? And so I'm gonna drop this. And the avocado oil you're supposed to be putting in is 3 tablespoons. And do you guys like my beakers? I feel like I'm back in college through my chemistry years. Oh, now that I mentioned college, if you guys want to listen to something about college and life experience, make sure to visit the Pivot Poll. They were on last night at 9 o'clock every Friday night. And they were actually talking about college and life experience, or life experience college. Did I say that the right way? Okay. But when I was in college, I started off as a chemistry major. And because I was planning to be pre-med. And I remember having to do these. So every time I got these, I think I got this in Crate and Barrel. And I love all these little beaker stuff. But anyways, I dumped my oil. Oh, thanks, Heather. She likes it. Oh, Joanne says you put your cabinets. Yes. Recycle, repurpose, folks. If you are doing DIY things and moving things out, redoing your house, yes, as much as you can. And then if not, you can actually donate some of your things, not only to Goodwill, but also like plumbery and cabinet stuff, those kind of fixture things of big houses, things in construction. You can go to Habitat, the Restore. They take all those things because Goodwill doesn't take some of those items. Okay, I can't believe I just did that plug. But anyways, yes, Heather, I was a chemistry major, pre-med, and almost into my junior year, I had taken a class in social, it was called Sociology of Medicine and Anthropology of Medicine, and that moved me over to public health. So my major got switched into Latin American Studies with public health as a whole interdisciplinary. So that's why I was like, yeah, it all depends when you guys were talking last night. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, since this is 15 ounces and I need 10 ounces, this beaker is actually 5 ounces full. And so basically, I'm gonna take a spoon and hopefully don't make a mess. So if I make a blooper, you can all laugh at my expense. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 5 ounces in here, and then the rest of the can is gonna be what? What is 15 ounces minus 5 ounces? 10 ounces, yes. And this is good mathematics, okay? It always comes in handy, you never know. Okay, so since now I have 5 ounces, now the rest of the can, I'm just gonna put this on the side. I could probably use it for something else later on. I am going to now put the rest. And so this is actually the 1 3/4 cups that you're supposed to have. And now, if you're not sure of conversions, use your phone. Hey, good morning, my cousin Luz. Oh, thanks, Jaylene. And so, you want to make sure that you have a full 10 ounces, okay? So here we go. Now that we have that in here, I'm gonna go ahead and whisk some of it already, even before the other stuff, just to start, getting things moving here a little bit. And so going back to making sure about what you have. Hey, good morning. Oh, my cousin's daughter, Isabella. How you guys doing today? Thanks for joining. And so the puree is mixing in there with the egg. Now, you're all probably wondering, it's summer. Glory, why are you doing pumpkin muffins? Well, because I actually like pumpkin. And I believe that you can have pumpkin anytime. Even though, yes, during the fall, there's a lot of pumpkin picking and pumpkin, pumpkin farms out here. Oh, Joanne says she likes to drink pumpkin spice coffee drink. Yeah, well, I'm not much of a coffee drinker, so I don't drink anything pumpkin. Oh, you just got all the ingredients, Isabella. Awesome. So you're going to cook right along. Make sure you take a picture and post it. Okay. So we have the puree there. Now we're going to continue with the other liquid ingredients. And so we're going to go ahead and put the maple syrup or the honey. I decided to go with honey. It's all your choice, folks, okay? So the honey tends to be a little thicker. So when you're pouring it in, you can give it a little bit more consistency in order for it to melt a little bit. So you can melt it ahead of time. I tried to melt it. As you guys know, my house is filled with honey because Frank every time picks up honey at a farm somewhere in Paulding on the way home. So we have different types of honey. And this one is wildflower honey. And so yeah. And we use honey, I use honey for my teas. They use honey for inside of their oatmeals. What do you guys use honey for? Hi, Titi Joanna. Good morning. Thank you. Yes, have a beautiful day. Say bendición to my uncle too. So what do you guys use for honey? Let me know, what do you guys use for honey? Okay. So the honey is in there, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and whisk again because this is gonna start thickening, and so I wanna make sure that all the ingredients, just dissolve in there, okay? What are you saying? Let's see. Oh, yes. Thank you for joining the Muffin Madrina this morning. Now, like I mentioned, if you haven't had a chance to look at the Muffin Madrina moment, we just had an episode this past Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And where I get to talk and sit down with my walking buddy and my meal prep dealer. And we talked about how she lost 50 pounds and just about her health journey in general. And you can actually go to the page. The video is up there. You can watch it later on. We actually got to hang out in my backyard, so it was kind of cool. And unfortunately, a helicopter came over at the same time, but oh well. Okay. Okay, so Heather says she uses honey when she's not feeling well. Yes, it's very good for your throat and also for any mucus that you might have in your chest. So yes, you can throw honey into just a regular cup of water with a little lemon, warm it up, drink it up. You can put it in your tea, you can put it in your coffee. Some people use it as sweetener instead of sugar. And let's see, and Jaylene says, I use honey. It helps with the asthma. Yes. So honey has, and I can attest for that because, you know, I myself get mild asthma and my youngest gets asthma. And yes, honey is one of those things that helps, you know, all that bronchial kind of mucus, all that stuff. I know we're having breakfast, but anyways, and I love this because this is all about science. You know, I like health. I still like medicine. I'm still connected to it. I always read things. But yes, honey has a property that helps in that whole process with mucus. Now, you just have to be careful. You know, if you have sugar issues, if you're diabetic, you can't be overdoing it with the honey, okay? So always consult your doctors, okay? Of what you're doing, or see a nutritionist or somebody that you can talk to about that. And you also, yep, okay, awesome. Okay, so now that we've got the honey in here, we're now going to do pumpkin pie spice. Okay, so I want to tell you something. I had such a hard time trying to find pumpkin pie spice. I thought that I was going to be in the store forever. And basically, it was there, but it was just not in front of me. And I kept going. I don't know if you guys ever gone to the spice condiments area in your grocery store. And at least I have like 2 major grocery stores. Well, actually, I have 2 grocery stores and a regular store so close by. And they have like these big displays and all the condiments. And so I couldn't at the beginning find the pumpkin spice at all. But then I kept looking and I kept looking, and at last I found it. And then I found the bottle that I didn't want to pay how much it was charging. And I was like, there's got to be one that's a little bit more cheaper. And so I kept looking, and I found one that was at a decent price point. And then now I have pumpkin spice for a while in my house. So your pumpkin spice, the amount that you're going to put into is 1 tablespoon. Okay, so this is a 1 tablespoon little beaker. Throw that in there. Now, if you do not like cinnamon or allspice, pumpkin spice tends to have almost, but it's more pumpkin-y flavor. But you know, it's each to your own. You could put less or you could put more. Okay. So here we keep going. I want to keep whisking everything in, so everything just evenly distributes. Okay. Now, after that, we're going to go ahead and put baking powder and baking soda. So for your baking powder and your baking soda, your baking powder, you needed 2 tablespoons. That's too much. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And the recipe called for aluminum free. And so you guys know that I've always tried to mention about things that are free radicals and all those little other things. So, you know, if you could pick one that's aluminum free, that's great. And then you're gonna do a teaspoon of baking soda. And like Joanne mentioned last time, these buddies, these guys of the baking soda and the baking powder are basically leavening. This is where my accent comes in. They are agents that help rise your muffins, okay? That's why it's not so much, it's just a little bit. Okay, now that is in there. What is the last thing that we need to put in? Obviously, we need to put salt. And salt, 1/2 teaspoon, okay? Some people like to put it, others don't. Just, you know, go less. However you feel. You know, once you get used to doing some of these recipes for muffins, you're gonna notice that there's certain things that are base, like base condiments or base ingredients that people use. You know, there's always baking soda, there's always baking powder. Normally there's some kind of salt. Usually there's some kind of oil agent or honey or maple syrup, especially in these healthy ones that are trying to do. Now, if you're a vegan, your eggs need to make sure you create what is called flaxseed eggs. So what you do is you grab some flax seeds, put it in some water, and it creates the consistency of what's needed in the recipe that an egg does. So if you don't want to use eggs because you're 100% vegan, then that's how you substitute the egg. Okay? Okay, we've got all the ingredients all around, and our last ingredient is what? The flour. Now, this particular recipe calls for 2 cups of flour, okay? But it calls for what is called spelt wheat flour. And so you're probably wondering, what is all that? So it just so happens, certain things that I learned as I was getting ready for this is that spelt is a type of wheat. And there are several types of wheat out there. And basically it's the property of the wheat that has. And so spelt is just a different form of wheat that you can use. Now, as you guys know, I have so much still of whole grain flour with wheat. I did not buy the spelt, okay? Because I need to get rid of all this flour that I still have in my house. So for the time being, I'm going to be using the flours that I have. But you can use the one that is mentioned in the recipe. Oh, yes, it does. It does smell very, very good. Okay, so we're going to put 2 cups. I'm going to divide this up. I divided it up. So this is 1 cup. Because what's going to happen is it's now going to start sticking itself. And here is not where you're going to use a whisk. Here you need to use a spatula. You guys like my spatula? I've shown this before with the letter G. Okay. And so I think I need a letter M instead of a G, right? Well, G is mine from Glow TV. But M, I need an M for the Muffin Madrina. Okay, so I'm just going to keep turning. So this is only with 1 cup, okay? That I'm going to be putting this in. And so as you see, hopefully you can see, you know, you're just mixing the flour into that whole puree, okay? Oh, and it smells so, so good. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention to you was that the honey amount, I actually didn't use the total amount of honey because you guys know, I'm trying to cut sugar. And so I even cut this down a little bit more. Basically, the honey is supposed to be what? A 3/4 cup maple or syrup or honey, and a 3/4 cup. I don't know if I showed you guys this gadget or if you've seen it before. I bought this too. I can't go to Crate and Barrel in all these stores. But actually, this one I got it at Le Cruis. Is that how you say it? Store that they sell all those neat pots and everything. But anyways, 1 3/4 cups, right? No, 3/4 cups of honey would have been 6 ounces, 12 tablespoons, which is a lot of sugar. So what I did is I knocked it down and I did a total amount of 4 ounces or 5. I brought it down to 4 ounces. I took 2 ounces off, okay? So just so you guys know that. And this is kind of cool because it's what? Let me see if it does it here. It's magnetic. Check it out. Oh, sorry. Magnetic, see? And you can just put, well, it doesn't want to stick to my pen thing. But you can use this and put it on your refrigerator or anything else that helps you convert measurements. So if you're thinking of, well, Mother's Day passed by, but if you know of a baker or somebody, you can do this in a nice little bag with a little bit of some other things, a little spatula, their initials, okay? So, sometimes I forget my math quick conversion. So, you got to cheat sometimes. Well, not cheat, in case some kids are watching. But, you just have to have the tools and resources necessary for you to be able to achieve your mathematical skills. Does that sound better? Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and now put the other cup of flour in. Thank you for joining the Muffin Madrina. If this is your first time, we are doing muffins. Actually, we are doing what is called cream cheese muffins today. So right now, I'm mixing the puree that has been done with all the other liquid ingredients, and I'm just, folding over the flour into the puree. So we're gonna make sure that it all goes in. Now it's gonna feel a little thick, okay? But you don't have to worry. It doesn't call that you need to do this on the blender. You can, but the only thing is they keep saying you can't over blend it, okay? So you just make sure that you just mix everything in, and that you see everything with that nice pumpkin color that we usually have, okay? It's like what, orangey brown or burnt orange? I don't know. Who likes making pumpkin pies? Anybody out there makes pumpkin pies? Okay, so Heather's asking, do I think this can be done with a sweet potato puree? You know what? I believe you can. Just substitute. Yep. Now, you might have to change the pumpkin spice. I mean, even though when you mix the sweet potato, the pumpkin spice is not as strong. But yeah, you could use that puree and do sweet potato. Oh, great idea, Heather. If you try it, make sure you post it so I can see it and let me know how it tastes. Okay. Okay, here we go. Everything is nice and mixed. I'm trying to get the bottom part of it to make sure that it's all covered in the puree. Oh, Joanne, you do? Oh, nice. Yes. Okay, Heather's Joanne saying just use the same spice when you do the sweet potato one. Nice. I like that. You guys are contributing and participating as well. All I say is whatever you do, make sure to post it on the Muffin Madrina page, or just send me the picture and I'll post it for you. I want to see all your creativity of baking. Now, I do know that Joanne makes a mean fudge. Is it fudge brownie or brownies? Brownies. Not fudge chocolate, brownies. She makes some mean brownies because I've had some of those. And those are good. But Joanne, you're going to have to find one where we cut the sugar down for me now for this year. Okay. Look at this. This is exactly the way it's supposed to look, according to the recipe. See that? Okay, so now let's remove these little things. And what we're going to do is we are now going to take our little scooper. Okay, so because I'm doing the mini ones, Heather agrees the brownies are so good. They're really good. They're too good. And so since I'm doing mini ones instead of the regular size muffins, and obviously this is going to yield more than 12 because they're small, I have a little ice cream scooper. Well, this is actually the cookie scooper, sorry. The ice cream scooper is a little bigger. And I got to buy this as well. I've been buying a lot of gadgets, so just scoop and drop it down. Well, let me help it a little bit here. There we go. Now what you want to do is once you put it in, you want to kind of create like a little how do you call it? Like a little dent on top of it. Because remember we have to add the cream cheese. So the cream cheese and the seeds are optional. So you can actually do this without cream cheese. You don't have to have it. But my family needs a little bit of sweetness more than what I'm trying to cut down. So I'm gonna go ahead and add cream cheese to these today. And they're just gonna be bite-sized. Mine are gonna be bite-sized. So you're probably doing the normal size, because remember, this batch that we just follow is gonna give you 12 regular muffins. Now, if you wanna know about calories, if I'm not mistaken, I think that one of these muffins is 200 calories, which compared to other recipes we've done is a little high. It's a little high. But if you do them bite-size, I mean, you think about it, these bite size are what, a quarter of that? So figure out what's a quarter of 201 in calories. How much calories are you getting? Who can do the math? A quarter of 201 calories. And let me see if anybody gets it and figures it out for me, because I'm asking, I haven't figured it out yet in my brain. I'm trying to figure out. I gotta say, it's probably like about 60 calories around there, so I believe so. Just one of these little bite size. Because normally that is like the average of these bite size and how much calories it has. Okay. So I'm almost done filling these in. Making sure that everything is nicely in there. So remember, I'm going to have a lot left over because I'm doing bite size. But later on, I will make some bigger ones. But for now, for trying the recipe, I'm going to go ahead and make some bite size. Okay, so we're going to put this to the side. So notice that they're in here, right? And so the next thing that we want to do is, you can do several things. You can, with the spoon, go in and do like a little crevice in the middle. So there's some people that do this different ways, because I looked up certain different recipes. So you can do like a little hole in the middle, and you can put the cream cheese, just plop it in the middle. Or you could just put it on top and then use a toothpick and swirl it, okay? So unfortunately, I know I have toothpicks in my house. I just can't find them at the moment. I'm not quite sure who took the little jar of toothpicks. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put the cream cheese like in the middle of these, but then I'm gonna do half in a swirl, but I found this little thing that I have that's pointy enough that should be able to do that, okay? Okay, so this recipe calls for 6 ounces of cream cheese, if I'm not mistaken. And it's basically the measurement of 6 ounces. If it says it in 12 spoons, if it's how do you call it? If it's 12 teaspoons or 12 tablespoons, one of those conversions, it's actually this whole pack. Now, what I want to tell you is, I did something different. I didn't go get like Philadelphia cream cheese. Hey, good morning, Adaris. Thanks for joining us. And I actually went with Greek cream cheese. And so Greek cream cheese is, you know, obviously has Greek yogurt in it. So Greek cream cheese has twice as much protein as your normal Philadelphia cream cheese or your basic store brand cream cheese, but it has less of the fat. And obviously, this girl don't need no more fat. So we are going to use Greek yogurt, but if you don't have Greek yogurt and you decided to buy regular cream cheese, hey, I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know that the Muffin Madrina is trying to do baby steps this year and make sure that she is getting less in certain areas. So Greek yogurt, okay? So we're just gonna, you know, you wanna make sure that you have softened it up a little bit. And all you gotta do is just put it in. And so remember I told you I couldn't find my toothpicks? Thanks, Heather. So I'm just gonna plop it right in. And I'm doing like little, it's like little, see that? It's just right there. Because what happens is when it melts, when it's baking, it's gonna stay there, okay? Now, because I didn't soften as much, you know, it'll plop. But if you want it to swirl in, you can actually, with the toothpick, do what I'm doing right now. But this is not a toothpick. This is my Weber grill. That we used to have a Weber, but we still have it. We have other grills that Frank has. But this is actually a temperature for your meat check, and because it was pointing enough, I figured that I could use it because I can't find the darn toothpicks. And so, you know, we're just swirling it into the pumpkin puree. That way, when it bakes differently, and it almost looks like a marble look, okay? So you can decide how you want to do this. And I'm trying my best to make it look, I'm creative, but I'm not as creative doing certain artistic looks of things. That's not my talent, but I just think things out and I let somebody else do it. Okay, so see the difference? See what I just did? Okay, there's a plop, and then this is swirled somewhat in, okay? And you guys probably, I bet that when Isabella posts her pictures, which is my cousin's daughter, hers are gonna be bombing looking. She is really, actually she's a young entrepreneur that does, it's called Izzy's Sweets. Is it Easy Sweets or Easy Sweets Delights or Easy Delight Sweets? Not, sorry, I can't remember. But so if you're in Massachusetts and you need anything in regards to chocolate and fruit and strawberries, I mean, go check out her page. Or call her mom and she'll hook you up. Okay, so we're going to keep going on this, okay? I know this is taking me a little bit. But you know, it's my first time doing this kind of style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take turns. And if you notice, I'm not using... I mean, this is 1 teaspoon, okay? But I'm not filling it all up because, as you notice, I just put a little bit and the rest of it's on here. So, you know, be conscious of how much, even if it's Greek yogurt, that you put in as well, okay? So, we're going to put this in. Let's give it that little swirly look. Or make it mix in to make it look marble. I can't wait to taste these when they come out. As you guys know, usually what we do is we'll put them in the oven and then we'll post pictures later on so you can see how they came out. Now, I know Heather isn't doing anything today. Well, but what about everybody else? Anybody got any great plans? Like awesome. Oh, Joanne's going shopping. Who else is doing something today? What is your Saturday looking like today? Are you spending it at home? Or are you doing, you know, how are you being creative? Good morning. Hey, Cousin Cheryl, what's up? I love it. How are you doing today? Countdown. Yeah? Okay. So, I'm liking this mixture more than having to do the whole plopping thing. And so, let's dig. You can dig in here. And you know, sometimes you just have to get creative when you don't have things. So Andretta says she's going to relax today. Yes, that's good, Andretta. Sometimes we have some busy weeks that we just, Saturday, you just got to chill and hang out at home. Oh, Joanne says home with the AC on. Yeah, it's going to get hot here. It is going to get hot. We can't go to our pool yet here because it's not open yet. So we got to wait. And then, but I know there's all these little lakes and places to go hiking, which can be sometimes a little bit difficult if it's too hot, but making sure. Who else is doing? What else? What about everybody else? What are y'all doing? Okay. All these guys have different characters. Just all I have to say. with the cream, okay? And just plop this right here. And there we go. Like I said, my artistic ability as far as decor as a baker is just not there yet. Okay. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and leave 3 of them without cream cheese to see the difference. Okay? And let me, you know, I bought this and I haven't even tried it. I'm just curious. Tastes good. You can tell the difference between Philadelphia and this. But this Greek thing tastes good. So remember, if you just joined, we're not using regular cream cheese. We're using what's called Greek cream cheese, and it has Greek yogurt. And the benefit of it is is twice as much protein than the regular Philadelphia cream cheese, but it's less fat. Okay? Because you know, milk products, dairy products, you know, there's a fat consistency that sometimes is not good for you. Too much of it. Okay, so, okay guys, I know you're probably laughing, but this is my artwork right here. And here are my mini size cream cheese filled pumpkin muffins. So remember, we're gonna pop these in the oven for 375. Well, for less minutes probably, because this is not as big. So I need to pay attention to these to make sure the little guys don't get burnt. So just pop them in the oven. And if you're following the regular recipe on the site that I let you guys know about, that and what I posted on the page, that's basically going to be 12 muffins. And each muffin is 201 calories. So only eat one muffin. Okay? And thanks, Heather. Thank you for the artwork comment. So, like I said earlier, if you had not had a chance to see the Muffin Madrina moment that we just had this past Thursday, and you want to find out about me talking to my walking partner and my meal prep dealer about her health journey and how she lost 50 pounds and dealt with type 2 diabetes and how she continues to on that journey, please go over to the page. Make sure you share with a friend. Be encouraged with each other. Make sure to support one another. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this morning. And if you did the muffins or did something in regards to baking, it doesn't even have to be a muffin, go ahead, put it on the page so we can share it. And I'll maybe ask you for the recipe. So thank you once again for joining the Muffin Madrina live here on this beautiful Saturday morning of May 22nd. And I hope that you enjoy your Saturday, that you don't shop too much, and well, shop a lot, but don't spend as much. That you enjoy your relaxation, and that make sure to hug and love on someone. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great Saturday. Goodbye.